Hey YouTube, hello world. Welcome to Authentic August, where I write 500 words every day and then share it here and we read it together. So I'm just doing this as, I guess, a creative ritual and to hopefully build a community of like minded individuals. I like the phrase, your vibe attracts your tribe. So I'm putting my vibe out there and seeing who is into it. And if that's you, thanks for being here. I really appreciate you, sending you lots of love and joy and all that good stuff. So today's post is called To Learn and Not to Do, and then ellipses. So if you hit the link in the description, we could go ahead and read it together. To learn and not to do. I don't know if I said my name. My name's Christian, in case you didn't know that. Authentic August, day 13. Something I always talk about is the difference between knowing a thing in theory and knowing a thing in practice, or through experience. For example, I may know that my family loves me and that I love my family. I'm unsure that we experience that fully. To me, the experience of love should feel so overwhelming that you ache, like a deep joy that overflows your heart, which then leads to the impulse to hug your person, to tear a little just thinking of them, or to vulnerably look them in the eyes and simply say, I love you. Yeah, all that mushy gushy stuff, we don't do that. At least not yet. It's unbearable to imagine a day when my mom or dad, or even me, I would hope my little brother outlives us all, reaches the end of our life without having dived deeper into the experience of love. Yes, I'm okay knowing that we love each other, and I'm very grateful for this and for the fact that we get along. I know not every family is lucky enough to say that, but I will forever strive for deeper connections and experiences with people, especially with my family. I get that I'm a weirdo. Perhaps I am overly sentimental and highly emotional, but that's just who I am. And I shouldn't shy away from that just to stick to the status quo. Growth is the result of relentlessly operating outside of your comfort zone. And I think we can agree that pushing past our discomfort is well worth reaching a deeper experience of love. It's well worth reaching new heights in the experience of life. Let's illustrate this theory versus practice. Let's illustrate this theory versus practice idea with a simpler example: living a healthy life. We all know what it takes to live a healthy life. Eat more veggies, consume less processed foods, and get active 3 to 5 times a week. Simple. Just plug and play and you're on your way. But even though a lot of us know this to be true, we somehow fail to put that knowledge into practice. So we don't actually experience a healthier body, much to our body's dismay. This reminds me of one of my all-time favorite quotes from the book that kickstarted my obsession with personal development, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. And this is the quote: To learn and not to do is really not to learn. To know and not to do is really not to know. Again, to learn and not to do is really not to learn. To know and not to do is really not to know. I've spent a whole lot of time learning. I've spent a whole lot of time accumulating knowledge. But I've only spent a portion of that time doing, on executing on that knowledge. In a lot of ways, this stage of my life feels like a time for doing, for putting everything I've learned over the years into practice. I don't mean to minimize the growth that I have experienced up to now. In fact, I'm rather far removed from the person I once was. I'm just saying that it feels like I'm on the verge of some new, fresh growth. And I know the key lies in doing the work. In doing the work we know we ought to. So let's get to work, shall we? With love, Q. So, yeah, that's kind of what I wrote today. And yeah, I guess I've thought about that a lot is the difference between things that we know in our brains versus what we actually experience in life. And tomorrow, I'm actually going to write about the theoretical knowledge that I am enough, and yet the experience of that is few and far between. And that's got to be some deep psychological stuff. And I'm not really sure where it stems from, but it does seem to resonate anytime I read personality tests about myself or just like the way that I experience life. Seems that the reason why I'm able to make friends so easily is because I need a lot of friends to make me feel validated because I, for some reason, don't do that on my own. And that is what I'm going to try to work on. I kind of lost focus there and I got really into just like the business side of things. But ultimately, I'm about to be 28 and I would really like to once and for all start a loving relationship with myself. For the last decade, more than a decade, I've been hopping from relationship to relationship, trying to fill the void that only I could fill and trying to get people to love me when all I really needed was to love myself. And I'm glad I'm learning that now. It's not too late. And even if I learned this, 40 years from now, it still wouldn't be too late. But I guess that's why I'm grateful to be learning this now. And with COVID and quarantine and moving back home and not having to pay rent and not really having to pay for food, everything is kind of handed to me on a silver platter. I figure that it's my responsibility to get this part of myself in check, to really internalize the message that I am enough. And so that way I can accept myself and I can stop projecting on everybody, on my family and on my friends and on my significant others, this sense that they're not enough. That was especially a theme in my relationships. And I haven't talked about that stuff yet, but I should and will because there's a lot of goodies to uncover and lessons to be rehashed and learned and internalized. Just, yeah, just a lot of projecting on them that they weren't enough. And I feel really badly about that. Um, so yeah, I mean, I'll have to talk about the recent breakup eventually because there was this whole experimental phase, and this is the first time that I've not been with someone and didn't have anybody lined up next. I always either was already talking to someone or had my eyes set on talking to someone, but the only person that I needed to talk to, and I knew this going into singlehood, was myself. And it's been an adjustment for sure. But yeah, tomorrow's post will be more about that kind of stuff. And yeah, today, no guitar, just a cappella. And it's crazy how when you don't sing for a month and a half and when you don't sing regularly, how much control you lose. And I need to practice singing more. Otherwise, I'll lose it. If you don't use it, you'll lose it, kind of thing. So, acapella today. This is a song that popped up while I was at work during a bathroom break when I was writing the post, and I guess I thought about it because I was thinking about my family and how we don't do the mushy gushy stuff. But if I had my way, then I would do that all the time. It seems I live my life on the verge of tears all the time just because everything's so touching or emotional. But anyway, if you're seeing this and you like this vibe, please like and subscribe so that we can hang out some more, and maybe I could get to know you and we can just vibe out and try to become better people and talk about our issues and figure out how best to live our lives and appreciate each other for our differences too. That's something I'm working on. Okay, Stevie Wonder. I just called to say I love you. No New Year's Day to celebrate. No chocolate-covered candy hearts to give away. No first of spring, no song to sing. In fact, it's just another ordinary day. No April rain, no flowers bloom, no wedding Saturday within the month of June. But what it is something true, made up of these 3 words that I must say to you. I just called to say I love you. I just called to say how much I care. I just called to say I love you, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Sang it too low. It's okay. And that's all for tonight, because I would like to sleep early. This is the first night where I actually feel like I had a proper wind it down, the first night in a long time. I'm going to stretch and give myself a big hug. I consider stretching a hug. And if you were here yesterday, you heard me talk about the 5 love languages and how I saw an Instagram post suggesting that we give ourselves the love that we like to receive. And for me, it's quality time and physical touch. And I was considering that this time in front of the camera with you guys is actually quality time, because I'm just here in my room, just talking, but I'm also bearing my soul and my heart. So it feels like quality time to me. That's what I do with my friends, is we just talk. And so quality time and then physical touch, I was thinking, yeah, I really do like when I stretch, and I don't stretch enough. And I, was stretching for a good while there. And I used to do it just before bed. And now I finally got home at a decent time, and I just want to set myself up for a good night's sleep. So I hope you liked that bedtime story, and I hope you enjoyed the goodnight song. And again, please like, subscribe, comment, DM me or whatever, and we can do this again tomorrow. All right, peace. Love you.